Hello everyone, I just wanted to take today the opportunity to say happy anniversary to my wife Patti. It's amazing we've been together since 1995, which is 22 years. In that time we've had a lot of issues come up in our lives between moving from Florida to North Carolina, now to Central Texas. We've had 2 kids. About 10 years ago we came home from church to find 3 newborn puppies in our backyard that are still with us. One of them, as you know, died recently. But yeah, there's been a lot of things that have gone on, but most of you already know that. But the one thing most of you probably don't know is how me and Patti actually got together. And I thought that'd be an interesting story to tell. You see, back in the early 90s, I somehow, through my parents, got into country western dancing. I was not a big country western fan by any means. When I was in college, I attended bass clubs. In other words, for those that don't understand what that means, all you hear is the bass beating in the background, boom, 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 and the words to the songs change, but the beat never does. That was the kind of club that I attended. Of course, those were not the most successful places of meeting people, so my parents convinced me that country nights would be a good place to go. And they were right. It was fun. It was a place that I got to go, and in case you don't know much about country clubs, country nightclubs, they have dance lessons where you learn line dances, couple dances, and a lot of the dances you learn, you need a partner. And country nights, that's one of the things that was great, because going there weren't a lot of guys that would go and learn the dances. There were a lot of girls. And to be able to dance, you had to have a partner of the opposite sex, is the way they wanted it. So back then, for those who don't know much about me, you know me from these days where I talk a lot. But back then, back in my high school days, I was very quiet. Anybody who's a Big Bang Theory fan knows Rajesh Kuthrapali. That's pretty much how I was when it came to women. If it was an opportunity to talk to one, the best I could do was say, "Hi," and that was about it. And it was in a high squeaky voice. In my middle school and high school days, I was what you'd call thin. At 6'4" in high school, I weighed 145 pounds. And as you see, I'm rather broad. And just as a comparison, I weigh 215 pounds now. So you're talking about 70 pounds of size. And most of it I put on from that point was muscle. So back then, I was rather homely looking, to be polite. So me and the ladies, I just was basically terrified to speak to them. Well, with Patti attending country nights, she needed a dance partner to take lessons. I needed a dance partner to take lessons. And we somehow got together. And through time, she thought it was kind of interesting because every time we would dance in the actual club, when a song would go off, I would leave the dance floor on one exit and she would leave on another. We wouldn't talk to each other. That wasn't because I didn't like her or anything. It was because I was terrified and I didn't know what to say. I wasn't into drinking. We drank bottled water because you don't drink and dance because you can't do it. Some people might, but I couldn't. But whatever the case, I was very quiet. So one day at dance class, a guy named Chet was teaching us. He was a really good guy, teaching us a lot of good moves. And he had us do a move called the pretzel. Well, this pretzel move, you would be holding hands, and I would take my right arm and I would have to take it up and over her head and then spin her around and put my left arm over. Well, as I was doing that, it just so happened that I didn't quite reach up high enough. And my right arm came up and it caught her right across the bridge of the nose. And I hit her hard enough that I snapped her head back, her legs went limp, and she was basically going over. So I had to catch her and pick her up. When I did, she had tears in her eyes, and she was obviously a little bit out of it. But when I asked her, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" She's like, "Oh, I'm fine, not a problem," as the tears rolled down her cheeks. So at the time, I didn't say much again, because you know who I was the quiet guy. But that night I got to thinking, you know, that was really something that she did that, and I felt so bad. So I said, I need to apologize to her. So what I did was I had her phone number, because again, we were dance partners. And I called her up and I said, we have a performance, because we were part of the dance team that did line dancing for country nights. And I said, okay, tomorrow, why don't you let me pick you up and we'll go to this dance performance down in Boynton Beach, and I will take you to dinner to make up to you for hitting you in the face. So from there, I picked her up, took her to dinner, and actually spoke to her. So that was kind of a big step for me. But over time, because I started talking through that, we ended up getting together, and the rest is pretty much history. But now you know, I used the caveman style. I knocked my wife out to get her. I didn't drag her by the hair, but I did hit her pretty hard. And again, it was by accident. I didn't by any idea mean to do that. I just didn't get my arm up high enough, and it caught her right where I just about took her head off. But anyone who knows Patti knows how gracious and loving and sweet she is, and she tried to play it off as if nothing ever happened to her. But for those of you who know what it feels like to get hit in the face, it's not a pleasant thing. But since then, you know, we've had some great times together, and I really appreciate all the things that she's done. And I just wanted to let the world know a little bit about us and a little bit about the fact of how special she is to me. But after 22 years, I'm hoping we have many more to go. We hit the gym every day, trying to stay as healthy as we can. She's a beast in the gym. She's quite strong. Puts me to shame. But yeah, she's hopefully got another 22 or more years in her, and I'm the same, so that we can grow old together and continue to do things. And maybe like Connie and Joel, we can start going out dancing again. They've hit like every dance club in the continent, and I just admire them for that. But yeah, thanks for listening. I just appreciate you guys, and I thought I'd let you know about the love of my life. So keep watching. We'll have more videos coming soon. Hopefully this weekend we're going to be going to Zilker Park, which is a botanical garden here in Austin, and I'm going to be doing some videotaping. And that trip will probably have Alex at least with us, and maybe Timothy. So in the meantime, happy Easter to all my friends out there, and y'all be blessed.